Hey, listen, I, for one, have been enjoying Prince Harry's new autobiography called Spare. And while I was reading, I came across something I didn't see coming. Harry talking about a physical attack by his own brother.
What was different here was this level of frustration. And I talk about the red mist that I had for so many years.
In 2019, during a fight at Harry's home in London, Harry says that William called Meghan difficult, rude, and abrasive. He talked about how William was just repeating what the press says about his American wife. And honestly, if someone talks like this about your significant other to your face, I can't think of any other reaction except anger. Harry wrote that the fight got worse until William grabbed him by the collar, ripped his necklace off, and knocked him to the ground. Ouch! This strange scene, which Harry says hurt his back, is only one of several in Spare, which has been released around the world for more than a week and is causing a lot of trouble for the British royal family. Even though there was tight security around the book before it came out, the book title comes from an old saying among royals and aristocrats, which says that a first son inherits titles, power, and money, while a second son is a backup in case something happens to the first son. Spare is a very interesting book, and the fight between the two princes is a shocking part of it. William wanted to talk about the whole rolling disaster of their relationship and their problems with the press, but when William got to Not Caught, he was already piping hot. For those of you who don't know, Not Caught is where Harry was living at the time on the grounds of Kensington Palace. Harry writes that when William complained about Meghan, Harry told him that he was just repeating what the press said and that he expected better. But the former royal also said William wasn't making sense, so the two men had to shout over each other. Harry then said that his brother was acting like an heir, and he couldn't figure out why his younger brother didn't just want to be a spare. There were a couple of insults thrown here and there, and it left William pretty confused. He wasn't sure why Harry wouldn't take his help. Some help, was it?
There's an amazing convening power, but also the perception of mental health now.
I mean, if my family doesn't agree with my choice for a spouse, I'd want them to sit me down, hand me a glass of water, or well, whatever's your liquid of choice, and gently walk me through the situation, not lunge at me in the middle of the kitchen. Yeah, I'd go into details of what else William did, but that'd totally ruin the fun. And I'm pretty sure you're probably ordering your copy right about now, because who wouldn't want to read the behind-the-scenes drama between Diana's little boys? Not sure if the princess herself would be happy with William's whole outburst. Reeling it back to the two men now, a battle of words wasn't the only thing that went down between them. In fact, there was some grabbing, ripping, and scratching. And if that wasn't enough, after the whole thing, William actually had the audacity to tell Harry to not mention their exchange to Meghan. But Meghan, being the empath she is, knew something was wrong when she saw bruises on Harry's neck. Harry says that while Meghan wasn't surprised, she wasn't angry either. She was just incredibly sad. I guess when you look at it that way, seeing that you've sort of precipitated a fight between your husband and his brother, it is sad. But that kind of resentment doesn't just come out of nowhere. It takes years of pent-up rage to even set aside decades worth of brotherhood. But I guess the family had more pressing issues in the past, too.
I love my father, I love my brother, I love my family. I always do.
Harry also mentioned that he and William asked King Charles to not marry Camilla. Prince Harry said in the book that he and his older brother William both repeatedly asked King Charles not to marry Camilla, the woman who now serves as queen consort. In 2005, they got married at a government service. His mother, Princess Diana, said that Camilla was the reason why she and King Charles broke up. He says it hurt to see Camilla for the first time and wondered if Camilla would be his kid stepmother. He also remembered that their first private meeting felt like a pure formality. A lot of people think that Harry and William were against Charles having a romantic interest, but honestly, they just didn't want their father to leave their mother, only to walk down the aisle with another woman. But that's not all that Harry wrote in his book. Harry also reveals how Meghan called William out. Meghan straight up called Prince William out during an extremely heated argument between Meghan, William, and Kate. For context,
I took matters in, by that point, I took matters into my own hands.
When he talks about what happened, he says that Kate asked Meghan to apologize for causing her pain. When his wife said she didn't know what Kate was talking about, Kate reportedly brought up a phone call in which Meghan said something about Kate's hormones. On the phone call, she reportedly talked about when wedding rehearsals would take place. Harry recalls how Meghan says that Kate couldn't remember something, and Meg called out Kate on her birth that it's hormones. Yes, Meghan called Kate out on her body. Kate's eyes got bigger as Meghan mentioned how she talks to her girlfriends by talking about their personal stuff. Harry then says that Prince William stepped in and pointed at Meghan, calling her out by telling how things aren't done like this in Britain. That's when Meghan says, and I quote, "Take your finger out of my face." Then Harry talks to the reader asking if this was really going on and if this was the end. Meg promised Kate that she would never do anything on purpose to hurt her, and if she ever did, she asked Kate to let her know so it wouldn't happen again. At the end of that part of the book, the Duke said they almost hugged at the end too. And I don't know, I mean, royals have a quite distinct way of exchanging thoughts that you and I won't ever be able to relate to, probably. But see, Harry's issues don't end here. Prince Harry is planning to not attend King Charles's coronation. Instead, he'll let the rest of his family make that choice. King Charles announced back in October 2022 how he'd been crowned at Westminster Abbey in May 2023, and the Duke of Sussex was recently asked about this in his interview with Tom Bradby, ITV News anchor. He responded by saying that things can change since there's a lot of time, and maybe time would help the situation get better, and I guess it'll actually change. Don't know if it's better or worse though.
I don't see it as cutting at all. My brother and I love each other. I love him deeply.
Bradby also asked Harry if he felt like he invaded his family's privacy by writing his book. Oh, and talking in the docuseries Harry and Meghan. I mean, he does talk openly about the fight he had with William and Charles over how the British press treated his wife. Plus, in their bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021, Harry and Meghan also talked about some of the bad things that had happened to them with the royal family. Bradby asked how Harry has been complaining about invasions of privacy, and now he's doing it to his family and closest friends. Harry pointed out that that's what people don't understand, that his family has been giving fabricated information to the press.
Supposedly at the moment there's only one side to this story.
And honestly, that's the whole point of his book. The news anchor commented that Prince William must be asking himself, why did Harry do this to him? But Harry just added by saying that he must be saying more than just that. Anyhow, that's it for Prince Harry and his issues explained in his book Spare. See you in the next video.
Which in today's society can come with all sorts of complications, but hats off to every single person that's contributed to this.